Antonio Brown, this story breaking just before we stepped into the podcast studio on Tuesday. The Steelers wide receiver coming off his best game of the season, now facing a little adversity. 2 lawsuits coming at him from an April incident in which Brown allegedly yelled at security. All right, that's pretty normal. But also threw items from inside in a South Florida apartment off of a balcony. Both lawsuits are for damages in excess of $15,000, and the lawsuit alleges, and it's from a guardian of a 2-year-old boy, that Brown, intentionally inflicted emotional distress and assault because the furniture and everything that he threw off the balcony almost hit the kid, and it was very upsetting for the child.
Now, is yelling at the security, was that like something that came after him throwing the stuff off the balcony? Like, was security came up and he yelled at them, and that's part of the lawsuit? Or is it totally different?
That's a separate lawsuit.
All right, let me address the balcony thing. First of all, my guess is Antonio Brown just read that story about the 2-year-old shredding the money, saw a 2-year-old down there, and said maybe that's him, and tried to hit him with some potted plants and some patio furniture. That's a guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but that sounds like something that could easily be possible, something I would have done. And I have actually, twice in my life, gotten in trouble for throwing things off of balconies. And both times it was out of sheer drunken perversity.
Well, what did he throw? This sounds right. I can remember one.
Freshman year, it's all been chairs. It's all been chair related. Freshman year, I threw 2 wooden kitchen chairs out of the 8-story window, 6-story window of my dorm's kitchen.
Monroe.
Sharp. You were in Monroe. No, you were in Irby. What were you in?
Monroe.
You were in Monroe. I was into Sharp, and threw 2 chairs out. And I remember we had to go in and have a meeting with like the people in charge of like authority at Tulane, and they were like. We were like trying so hard not to laugh, and they were like, you guys threw him out right where the walkway is, and a chair leg through the head's not going to help anybody during finals. And then I just lost it right in the face.
Well, it's true. I mean, what if Antonio Brown had hit the kid, by the way, or what if you had hit someone with the furniture? Only in college can you get away with that. It's like we're cashing your checks, so we're just not going to say a word.
I'm very lucky. If someone had gotten hit, I'm gone from school. This is like the first 3 months of college. I'm gone, and I'm doing some jail time. The second time was plastic patio furniture in Martha's Vineyard. I came home from work, and this guy, we were living in some poor guy's house who was like, it was an expensive house, but he was putting the finishing touches on it, so we got to live there cheap.
Wasn't I living with you?
Yes. We got to live there cheap for a month.
Oh, yeah.
And I got home, and he had just put out like all brand new plastic patio furniture, and I thought it's indestructible. And I, was picking it up and throwing it off the balcony, and a lot of it broke. And so since he couldn't match it, he had to buy like a whole set. It cost me, I think, a week's paycheck from the seafood shanty to pay for all that furniture. But I do remember the line. I walked downstairs, hungover, and all of my roommates are like nervous. And the landlord,
we had like 8 people in a 4-bedroom there.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's nervous, looking at me. And the landlord goes, "Anthony, what happened to my chairs?" And everyone thinks I'm about to put up a fight or like deny it or something. And I just look at him and I go, "Gravity's a bitch, man." He laughed. Everybody laughed. I bought him some new chairs. Everybody was okay. I think this is a cool story. I think it's cool of Antonio Brown to throw things at 2-year-olds. What do you think? What's your take?
I think you were one of the worst employees the seafood shanty's ever seen, cutting up those seafood. And I think you're
cutting up those seafood.
You know what I'm saying? Cutting up the clams. You were on the cold bar,
opening up oysters.
You had like a low wattage job, trying to keep you kind of out of, anywhere that you could mess things up too poorly. I'm amazed I don't remember you doing that.
I was the power cell of that operation. I was the mitochondria.
I'm amazed I don't remember you throwing this stuff off the balcony. But I think Antonio Brown's pretty lucky. If it had hit, it seems a little crazy that you can get $20,000 off of Antonio Brown because he scared the kid. Is that like a law? Like I would think either it hits the kid and you can get who knows how much, or it missed the kid and you're out of luck. You're not going to win this lawsuit.
What about like a little shrapnel from the pot hits the kid? Is that what
didn't happen? 10 grand? Said it was just emotional. It was emotional distress.
I think that if he doesn't hit the kid, he shouldn't get any credit.
We're taping this every week on Tuesday night. Just one night ago, history was made in the New Orleans Superdome, a place where we've had some good times over the years, when Drew Brees set the all-time leading passing record.
You're talking about last night.
Last night, yeah. We weren't there last night. I'm saying we've had some good times at the Superdome.
Sure.
Tulane games.
Sugar Bowl.
That's about it.
Yep.
Some Saints games. I know I went to a bunch of Saints games. But last night was kind of just a big party thrown for Drew Brees. It almost felt like the Redskins let Drew Brees set this record. But before it all happened, 2 fans of Drew Brees walked 71,940 yards around New Orleans to symbolize how many passing yards he has thrown in his career. So that equates to about 41 miles. And they started at 3 in the morning, and they ended up at the Superdome, and they ended up getting to meet Drew Brees before the game.
Yeah, it sounded like a cool story because it sounds like a very New Orleans thing to do. Like, let's start at 3 in the morning. We'll walk all over the city, get to the game just in time, and we'll be great. And I was like, I assumed they would, of course, be drinking. Like, it's a bar crawl. But this is like their job, and they were professional, and they just walked with like water and like Band-Aids in case they got blisters. I'm thumbs down on this one. But I am excited. My favorite thing about Drew Brees setting the record, 2 things. One is the flag they got. They got hit with a penalty after the touchdown for taunting, not for excessive celebration, but still, you think he picked that one up. Secondly, they don't give him a trophy. They give him a laminated certificate.
Yeah, the official of the game got this laminated, piece of paper,
like a menu,
like it was a 3rd grader who just got best sportsmanship.
Yeah, like it was the pump, pass, and kick competition
for a soccer team, and handed it to Drew Brees in the middle of the field. It was one of the most insane things, and they did like a little close up of the picture, and it was just like Drew Brees, most passing yards in history. They handed that to him. I really enjoyed.
It would have been better if they'd given him a box of Dude Wipes.